You're sitting in a meeting. Nothing is wrong. Nobody is threatening you. The room is temperature controlled, your chair is padded, and the biggest risk you face is a boring PowerPoint slide. And yet something in your chest is tight. Your jaw is clenched. Your eyes keep drifting to the door. Your body is doing something your conscious mind didn't ask it to do. It's scanning. It's watching. It's waiting for the attack that isn't coming. And the strangest part? It has been doing this your entire life. Your brain was not built for the world you live in. It was built for a different world entirely. A world where the grass moved and something moved with it. A world where every shadow after sunset was a decision between running and dying. A world where the wrong moment of distraction was the last one you ever had. That world ended thousands of years ago. Your brain never got the message. This is the story of the oldest software still running inside you. And once you understand what it's doing, you will never look at your own anxiety the same way again. Go back 2 million years. Your ancestor is standing on the open savanna of East Africa. They are not at the top of the food chain, not even close. They are a small, slow, relatively weak primate with no claws, no venom, and no armor. They are prey. Leopards hunt them from trees. Hyenas chase them across open ground. Crocodiles wait for them at the water's edge. Every single day is a calculation. Move to find food, but moving exposes you. Stay hidden, but staying hidden means starvation. Your ancestor solves this problem not with strength, but with something far more powerful. A nervous system wired to detect threat faster than conscious thought can process it. Neuroscientist Joseph Ledoux spent decades mapping what he called the fear circuit. At the center of it sits a small almond-shaped cluster of neurons deep inside your brain called the amygdala. It is ancient, it is fast, and it operates almost entirely outside your awareness. When your senses pick up something that even resembles a threat, the amygdala fires before the thinking parts of your brain have had time to evaluate what's actually happening. Ledoux called this the low road, a direct highway from sensory input to fear response, bypassing rational analysis entirely. Your body starts reacting before your mind knows why. This is why you flinch before you understand what you flinched at. It is why a coiled garden hose on a dark path makes your heart rate spike for half a second before your visual cortex catches up and tells you it's rubber, not a snake. Your amygdala didn't wait for confirmation. It acted on pattern. It acted on the possibility of danger. Because in the world your brain was designed for, waiting for confirmation got you killed. The technical term for this is negativity bias, and it runs far deeper than just fear of snakes. Psychologists Roy Baumeister and Ellen Bratzlavsky published research in 2001 demonstrating that bad events have roughly twice the psychological impact of equivalent good events. Losing $20 feels worse than finding $20 feels good. A single critical comment in a performance review outweighs 4 pieces of praise. A single threat in your environment demands more of your attention than 10 signs of safety. This is not weakness. This is not irrationality. This is a survival strategy that worked for 2 million years, encoded so deeply into your neural architecture that modern psychology can measure it but cannot override it. Think about what that bias is actually doing. Imagine 2 of your ancestors on that savanna. The first one has a balanced, even-handed view of the world. They notice threats and opportunities in equal measure. They see a rustling in the tall grass and think, it's probably just the wind. The second ancestor has a negativity bias. They startle at every rustle. They scan constantly. They assume the worst. Now ask yourself, which of those 2 ancestors survived long enough to have children? The nervous, hypervigilant one. Every time. And their children inherited that wiring. And their children's children. And eventually, after enough generations of natural selection weeding out the calm ones and keeping the anxious ones alive, you ended up here. Sitting in a perfectly safe room with a tight chest and eyes that keep drifting to the door. Your hypervigilance is not a flaw. It is a trophy. It is proof that every single ancestor in your line, going back millions of years, was paranoid enough to survive. But there is a cost. and that cost is enormous. Your stress response system, the one that floods your body with cortisol and adrenaline the moment threat is detected, was designed for short bursts. A leopard appears. Your body surges. You run or you fight. The threat is resolved in minutes. Your cortisol levels drop. Your heart rate returns to normal. Your digestion resumes. Your immune system comes back online. The entire biological machinery was built for acute, temporary danger. It was not built for a performance review that sits on your calendar for 3 weeks. It was not built for a mortgage. It was not built for a news cycle that delivers a new catastrophe every 4 hours. Psychologist Robert Sapolsky, who has spent much of his career studying stress in baboons and humans alike, put it this way: humans are unique among animals in their ability to turn on a stress response just by thinking about something. A zebra being chased by a lion activates its stress response for the duration of the chase, then turns it off. A human being who is not being chased by anything can sustain a stress response for months by simply worrying about something that hasn't happened yet. And that long-term activation of the stress response is now understood to damage the cardiovascular system, suppress immune function, disrupt sleep, shrink the hippocampus, and accelerate aging at the cellular level. Your brain is trying to save your life. It is simultaneously killing you slowly in the process. Here is where it gets stranger. Your brain doesn't just scan for physical threats. It has extended the same threat detection hardware to social danger. Because for your ancestors, being rejected from the group was nearly as lethal as being attacked by a predator. A lone human on the savannah is a dead human. No group meant no protection, no food sharing, no help raising children. So your amygdala learned to treat social threat the same way it treats physical threat. Criticism, exclusion, embarrassment, a room that falls silent when you walk in. These experiences activate the same neural architecture that your ancestors used to detect whether something was about to eat them. Researcher Naomi Eisenberger at UCLA conducted experiments using fMRI brain scans to watch what happens inside the brain when a person is socially excluded during a simple online ball-tossing game. The result was striking. Social exclusion activated the same regions of the brain as physical pain. Your brain does not cleanly distinguish between being left out of a conversation and being left out in the cold on the savannah. Both register as danger. Both trigger the same alarm system. Both demand your attention before anything else. This is why public speaking terrifies more people than death. This is why a single ignored text message can spiral into an hour of anxious interpretation. This is why you rehearse conversations in your head before they happen and replay them after they're over. Your threat detection system has colonized your social life, your professional life, your relationship with your own thoughts. And it is running, right now, in the background of everything you do. The ancient danger is gone. The hardware remains. There is one more layer to this. Your brain doesn't only respond to threats that exist. It anticipates them. The prefrontal cortex, the most recently evolved part of your brain, gives you the ability to project yourself forward into imagined futures, to simulate outcomes before they happen. This was an extraordinary evolutionary advantage. It let your ancestors plan, cooperate, strategize, and survive winters by thinking about them in summer. But the same machinery that lets you plan for the future also lets you suffer inside it. You can sit in perfect physical safety and generate a completely convincing experience of threat using nothing but your imagination. And your amygdala cannot reliably tell the difference between a threat you are imagining and one that is actually in front of you. Fear of a thing your brain has simulated triggers the same cortisol spike as fear of the thing itself. Worry is your ancient threat detection system misfiring in the future tense. Anxiety is the savannah, relocated to your mind. So what do you do with this? Understanding the system doesn't disable it. You cannot think your way out of a fear response that evolved to bypass thinking. But you can change your relationship to it. When your chest tightens in a meeting for no apparent reason, you are not broken. You are experiencing a 2 million-year-old survival system doing exactly what it was designed to do in a world that no longer exists. The signal is not the enemy. It is old information arriving in a new world. The research of psychologist Lisa Feldman Barrett suggests that the brain is fundamentally a prediction machine. It is always generating models of what is about to happen and what to feel about it. And those models can be updated. Not immediately. Not through willpower alone. But through repeated exposure to new information, new experiences, new evidence that the environment is safer than the ancient wiring assumes. The brain that learned to fear can, slowly, learn to recalibrate. Your ancestors scanned the grass so you wouldn't have to. They carried the fear so the species could survive. You inherited it whole, every synapse, every reflex, every sleepless 3 a.m. calculation. It kept them alive. It brought you here. And now, for the first time in human history, you have the rare luxury of knowing why you feel the way you feel. You're sitting in a meeting. Nothing is wrong. Nothing is hunting you. Your brain just hasn't checked that off its list yet. And now, at least, you know why.